Hello dear viewer! We successfully rushed a 4-hour rocket launch and secured the There's No Spoon achievement. Today our journey takes us beyond the clouds of Nauvis. Our main goals are to build our very first space platform, automate space science, head straight to Vulcanus and abandon the Nauvis base completely, never to return until the very late game. I just crafted power armor, which will help us utilize bots in the future. The equipment grid is decently sized, there's even room for exoskeletons. Now I'm about to do something very unusual. Barreling sulfuric acid. The strategy is to mine a single piece of uranium. This will unlock nuclear power research, which unlocks turbines, very important on Vulcanus. Since we are abandoning Nauvis, there's no plan to actually use nuclear power. A single solar panel will provide enough electricity. 1 barrel will be sufficient for this little mining operation. All that's left to do is place a mining drill. Okay, done. Nuclear power is now available for 800 packs. We only have the red, green and blue science packs. And since I'm not planning to build an ore expansion, I have to be careful to not run out of resources. To progress and unlock Vulcanus we need space science packs. They have to be farmed in space, which means we have to build a space platform. But not only that, we also have to produce a lot of space platform foundations. They are very expensive and require lots of steel and copper. I'm using my Simpleton 30 blueprint to get the job done. It will produce exactly 30 science per minute. Even though Factorio 2.1 introduced smart logistics to build new platforms, I will still do it manually. I have no proper bot network, and also the new automatic system is not 100% efficient. I read orbital requests on the silo and then connect the silo to a power pole. By hovering over it, I can see what's still missing in space. Even though the platform is very small, it still needs a couple of rocket launches. 3 to be precise. That's number 2. I see platforms and efficiency modules on board. But it seems like the inserters are still missing. This rocket launch already contains some extra material that will be important in a minute. Factorio 2.1 allows us to transfer items over from platform to platform in orbit. I don't want to waste space, so some of these items are already for the next space platform. Okay, Simpleton 30 has been constructed and it's now producing space science. Which means we now have to make sure that the science packs find their way into our labs. I built a cargo landing pad very close to the labs, since I don't have any plans to import other items. It's a bit of a spaghetti mess, but close enough for government work. Getting space science into the labs is all I want. We can now start researching the space platform thrusters and the Vulcanus planet discovery. There's no reason to build anything else at this point, it's just maintaining the base. And preparing the next space platform, the one that will actually fly us to Vulcanus. For this task I'm using my minimalistic boxcar design. I made a video about it in the past. It's a very small platform, capable of going to all of the inner planets, while using the hub to distribute items. I said earlier that the first space platform already holds some items for the new one. Let's try out the new platform-to-platform transportation feature. This checkbox over here, provide materials to other platforms, has to be checked. And it's like magic, the items are already on their way. Couple of foundations, solar panels and electric furnaces. Amazing, isn't it? Oh, and there are still a couple of chemical plants incoming. Now the Simpleton 30 platform doesn't have to provide materials to other platforms anymore. Let's uncheck the checkbox. All that's left to do now is maintaining production, research and constructing the new platform. Who remembers Ted Lasso assuming football has 4 quarters, only to be corrected, 2 halves? This aged like milk, thanks to the hydration break. I have another idea for FIFA. What about kicking field goals in overtime worth 3 goals? This seed had a very small starter iron ore patch, but it's large enough to comfortably leave the planet. At this point there's 40,000 iron ore left. We are still only smelting 1 full yellow belt of iron plates, but I shifted 12 steel furnaces from the copper production to the steel production. Space platform foundations are very steel hungry. Vulcanus planet discovery research completed. Okay, that's it. That's the last rocket, containing some useful items for the Vulcanus starter base. Next up, my engineer has to fly to space. So let's jump into the silo and leave for good. I wonder what will happen to this now abandoned Nauvis base. There's no defense or perimeter to keep the biters away. Guys, take a very close look. Notice the small thrusters on the capsule and the sound. This must be new in 2.1. Amazing. Okay, let's head towards Vulcanus now. We have to hand fly this spacecraft. In the bottom UI you can see the radio button, automatic and paused thrust. I have to carefully toggle to control my speed. Boxcar is made for low physical projectile damage levels, but this is just level 2. That's out of spec for this ship. Also notice I collected a lot of ammo. I'm not sure how much will be depleted, and I'm not confident that this spaceship can even stay in Vulcanus orbit. This is tough. We are getting close to Vulcanus, but the ammo and magazine count is dropping significantly fast. And there it is, we are close. 2.1 made the planets visible in space. Time for a shoutout and huge thank you to Nauvis, the developer of the Visible Planets in Space mod. Even though your mod is not necessary anymore, thank you so much for providing this feature and putting some pressure on Whoop to implement this in 2.1. Hello Vulcanus. Let's drop down the cargo landing pad and the engineer. The planet looks absolutely wild. Nothing but mountains, ash and rivers of lava. This hot and barren wasteland will be our new home and the center for all production and science. I'm sending down the items brought from Nauvis to help me set up a starter base. Especially the substations will be helpful for an electrical grid. And of course the construction boards to mine rocks. New strategy, I'm using a deconstruction planner to get rid of the rocks. Then I shift click another deconstruction planner for items on the ground. I don't want my bots to pick up all of the resources that dropped out of the rocks. This would be way too time consuming because of the low bot speed levels. Instead I let my engineer pick up the resources manually. A bit of solar energy and accumulators for electricity and electric furnaces. While smelting ores, I realized I have to fly my spaceship back to Nauvis immediately. If I don't do it now, and I mean right now, I will lose my spaceship. The asteroids sure as hell don't look very scary. But you have to remember we only have physical projectile damage level 2 and speed is also at level 2. Because of this lack of damage, the amount of ammo I need over time is lower than the production rate. Soon I will run out of ammo and then the platform is gone. I'm now trying to set up a target priority filter with ignore unlisted targets. The goal is to manually toggle this filter to not shoot at asteroids that wouldn't hit my spaceship anyway. See, I just set up the filter because these asteroids are not on a collision course. The two on the top, on the other hand, are a problem. The ship is in big trouble and we are only 1/3 of the way. You think this is something? You think this is bad? This chicanery? I'm trying to reach at least the halfway point between Vulcanus and Nauvis. From there the ship will float automatically towards Nauvis with 10 km per second. The blinking gun turrets reveal we are about to be out of ammo soon. Hopefully close to Nauvis there won't be much more asteroids heading our way. This is so close. I think I did it. This might be the last asteroid, blocking our way to Nauvis. I can already see the planet in the background. Phew, we are safe. This was very close. The ship will be very important soon, because I can import space science from the other platform in Nauvis' orbit. This way I don't have to farm space science in Vulcanus' orbit, which is way more dangerous. That's also why physical projectile damage will be high priority on my research list. Speaking of research, there are a lot of technologies that aren't available because I rushed to Vulcanus. Things you would normally take for granted, like fast transport belts, trains, the logistics system, which means no requester chests for bot mole, and minor things, for example the inserter still have a stack size of 1. The other issue is how to get rid of the demolishers. As far as I know, there's never a tungsten ore patch in the starting area. At least one demolisher has to be killed to access tungsten. In previous runs I used quite a lot of different methods to get rid of them. 2 different methods come to mind this time. Researching more gun turret damage and then spamming gun turrets, or setting up quality production to get rare poison capsules. Anyways, to mass produce things on Vulcanus we need foundries. Coal and calcite are absolutely necessary to craft them. Since I'm short on power poles, I'm using a dedicated solar panel just for the miners mining calcite. Usually I carry the first batches of calcite by hand, but this time I had enough iron, so why not build a belt? To craft the first foundries, I made a blueprint. This minimalistic design crafts foundries, nothing else. There are 3 inputs for coal, calcite and sulfuric acid on the left side. The display panels with the symbols on it tell me exactly where each item has to go. Off screen I already built a pump jack with a dedicated solar panel and a pipeline to get sulfuric acid. Next, I need to place the raw materials into their matching chests to begin crafting. That's tungsten ore mined from the rocks. Steel goes into this chest. Oh, I forgot to pick up stone bricks. Iron plates are required over here, copper plates for the copper cable production, and stone bricks and iron ore go there. Notice the blueprint includes a single turbine. That's enough electricity for these machines. But apparently I don't have enough sulfuric acid. So let's add another pump jack, but this still depends on solar energy. No production during the night. Anyway, I'm about to get the first foundry, and the way this is supposed to work, as soon as the first foundry is ready, I will deconstruct the assembling machine level 2 and replace it with a freshly crafted foundry. Since foundries have a built-in 50% productivity bonus, I don't want to miss out, and from here on get 3 foundries for the price of 2. A foundry fits perfectly into this gap. It has to be rotated though, to connect it to the lubricant chemical plant. Okay, here we go. The only item we are short on is tungsten carbide. It's just a matter of waiting though. Here we go, that's my second foundry. Do not deconstruct this foundry because of the productivity bonus. To craft more, I'm unfortunately out of steel. Very typical bottleneck when setting up camp on Vulcanus. Let me show you how to get fresh new steel with a single foundry. An offshore pump pumps lava into this foundry. I dropped in calcite manually. It now produces stone, which has to be removed, and molten iron. To automate the removal of stone, I built a couple of inserters. Excess stone can simply be thrown into the lava. That's a nice and fast way to get rid of it before having recyclers later on. As soon as a decent amount of molten iron is collected, I will then switch recipe to steel production and then rotate the foundry. We are now producing steel, but oops, I just realized without a filter on these inserters, we are throwing it away immediately. We of course only want to get rid of stone here. We require 50 steel to craft the next foundry. But remember, because of the productivity bonus, we now get 2 at once. These can then be used to set up production properly. No more rotating of the molten iron foundry. Steel is still the most valuable product right now to craft more foundries, but iron plates are also important. Since steel is not an issue anymore, we can now craft a couple of steel chests, making it easier to pick up large quantities in a minute. As soon as I have more foundries, I want to automate more iron products, like gears, pipes and underground pipes. Since foundries are very power hungry, electricity will become a problem. We counteract by building more turbines. It's very satisfying to hear the reduced load on those turbines. The small things that make Factorio so great. Here's what we have built so far. This is all temporary and will be deconstructed later. It's very important to understand that in Factorio, a factory at any point in time only serves the purpose of reaching the next evolution step. In this case, the production of foundries and big mining drills. When this goal, or any goal, is reached, a new, better factory has to be constructed. At least that's the best and most efficient thing to do. A lot of players, that's my observation, struggle with the idea that everything they build is temporary. But this thought is also motivating and refreshing. Because it also means that all the mistakes or shortcomings of your current base don't matter. Your factory does not have to be perfect. It just has to get the job done. And then we move on, rebuild, redesign and come up with something better later. Until we figure out that it's 4 AM in the morning and we better get to sleep as fast as possible to not pass the F out the next day at work. Anyways, in the background I set up a semi-automated production of electric engines to craft the first big mining drills. They are insanely powerful because of their resource drain property. Since I want to set up the production of red, green, military signs, blue signs, yellow and purple signs all here on Vulcanus, I probably require a lot of coal. So mining it in a more efficient and productive manner is important. There is no red circuit production yet, but I brought a couple of circuits from Nauvis. This allows me to craft substations and then connect the outposts, so that energy is available 24/7. Thinking about it, the expression 24/7 doesn't make any sense here on Vulcanus. The sulfuric acid production should also have permanent power. And we haven't set up molten copper production yet. Getting infinite copper and copper cables is important to expand the base. With that, the initial starter base is done. I hope you will join me next time when we start mass producing all the science packs on Vulcanus. Take on the demolishers, roll out our quality production lines and decide which planet we are heading to next. Subscribing will help you get notified when it's released. Thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. You make this content possible. Bye.